Monday, or Tuesday rather. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is Weather with Sam again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we're going to be doing severe weather coverage, okay? We're going to be going over a lot of things in this live stream. And as you can see, as of right now, I am using a different radar website, and that's because this is a free and professional website that is called Attic Radar. So if you never heard about this website, you guys can go look it up and read about it. But like I said, today I am going to be doing live coverage. So if you do, have any plans today, or if you're able to stay with Meal Fruit, feel free to do so, and that will be fine. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at these warnings that are issued as of right now. And as you can see, we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Louisiana. So if we look at this storm right here, as you can see, nickel size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So not that concerning overall. We might have a few severe thunderstorms, or we might have a few pieces of larger hail. But overall, as of right now, we just have 60-mile-per-hour winds and some penny-sized hail, so not that concerning down there. If we go a little bit farther to the north, as you can see, we do have a hail core over here, and this is mainly just for golf ball size hail. So not, concerning with damaging winds up here to the north, but definitely somewhat concerning with large hail. So we certainly do need to be watching this area pretty closely for large hail. And if we look at the reflectivity, which it will be the velocity, that is pretty much the rotation, not very many areas of rotation, very, very broad to say the least, so not, very concerning as of right now. And there's also no tornado warning issued either, so not very concerning up here in places like Black Wolf, Worth town, back into Bushton, even into Frederick. Some of these names are hard to pronounce, by the way, so if you do live in the severe thunderstorm warning, be aware of golf ball size hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds, which aren't really severe but can still cause some damage. And if we head a little bit farther up to the north, we're going to go ahead and change the radar. And as you can see, we don't really have a whole lot of a severe thunderstorm warning up here. And as you can see, there's just 60-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball size, or never mind, quarter size hail across this area right here. And if we look at the super res base velocity, that is pretty much what indicates the rotation. We might have some areas of broad rotation, so pretty much these areas that are touching the red color, so these green touching the red color, usually indicate rotation. So very, very broad rotations, so that isn't really going to be a concern up here. So if you do live in Harrison, Wisconsin, Tomahawk, Wisconsin, down here towards Gilbert, Wisconsin, and as well as Arma, Wisconsin, make sure to be indoors and away from windows, as there could be some core size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds around. And if we go ahead and look at a couple more of these warnings, let's go ahead and check down here towards Louisiana. We're going to go ahead and select this radar right here, and as you can see, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for this one, just core size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, so not very concerning down here towards Louisiana. This pretty much includes parts of Mississippi too as well. So places like Fauquier Lake, back into Leslie, which is a city in Mississippi, back into Dollar-Osen, that's another area to be aware about, back into Wicknesson. So those areas could be seeing some core size hail, and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour winds around. So certainly going to be another area that we do need to be watching very closely. And then this area over here, as you can see, we do also have another area of rotation. This is going to be for nickel size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds around as that storm starts to come into this warning right here, as you can see. And if we zoom back out, we're going to go ahead and move over to a few more of these areas. I'll go ahead and do something just real quick. I was going to go ahead and move these images a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and move these images a little bit. So we're going to go to image 2, which is up here. We're actually going to go ahead and make this just a little bit smaller, and then I think the bottom one's okay. So yeah, so certainly, you know, like I said, I did change some of these things just to make it a little bit easier to see. But as we do go back, as you can see, we still do have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Louisiana. So places like Marksville, Cottonport, Simisport, I think that's how you say that, back into Oakdale, Pine, Pernier, and even a few more. So places like Cottonport, back into Buckeye, Marksville, and as well as Woodworth is included in the severe thunderstorm warning in Louisiana, and this goes for penny size hail, which is 0.75 inches in diameter, which has been observed, by the way, and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds pretty much in Louisiana right here. And then as we go a little bit farther up to the north, as you can see, we still have this severe thunderstorm warning up here in effect for parts of Kansas, and this does include places like Holy Rod, which this storm has passed. This storm is getting ready to impact some more cities in Kansas, by the way, which does include Midway, which is actually in the path of this hail core, but even Kannapolis, which I think that's how you say that, and even Ellsworth are also included in the path of this hail core, which, like I said, golf ball size hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds will be the main concern with this one, as it still continues to stay strong. We got another supercell down here in Kansas, which includes areas just to the south and east of Ellsworth, and as you can see, this includes Lindsboro, back into Marquette, which this storm has passed, and even back into Jonestown, which is just getting ready to get hit by the storm as of right now, and even New Goodland are in the path of this storm in Kansas. And if we look at the rotation, as you can see, we don't nearly have really any areas of rotation. If we were to say if there would be rotation, there would be very little rotation. So nothing really much across this area right here, but still, you know, some pretty concerning areas that could, you know, be seeing some rotation. So certainly going to be something to watch for as we continue to watch this storm very closely. And as we do move a little bit farther down here to the south, we're going to go ahead and look at this storm again. And this storm right here is actually getting ready to move into Marksville, Cottonport, Oakdale, and as well as Ville Platte will be in the path of this severe thunderstorm as it does move through. This goes for 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. So pretty strong storm right there. So if you are in the path of this storm, you know, be indoors and away from windows. And if we look at how much rotation there is, not very much rotation, very little to no rotation in some areas. So, you know, we can sometimes get those little spin-up tornadoes pretty much along this line right here as those reds touch the greens, which usually indicate rotation. But like I said, not really, you know, showing very much in the way of rotation, so not very concerning by this point. So if we go back to regular regular reflectivity, as you can see, we do actually kind of have a supercell over here, and if it does get its act together, it could turn into a tornadic storm. But as of right now, it's just producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter size hail across Leslie, back into Foster Lake, that is in Mississippi, by the way, back into Wilkinson, even a few other cities too as well, like Dollar, so are also included in this severe thunderstorm warning. And if we look at the velocity, as you can see, for the velocity, not showing a ton of rotation, but still showing some rotation. So like I said, we can sometimes get those brief tornadoes develop, which is certainly possible as this continues to move towards the east. And if we go back up here to the north, it looks like we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Kansas. We're going to go back to reflectivity. And this one is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel size hail. So 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel size hail for that one. And as you can see, the storm does look to be pretty strong in places like Clifton, back into Slidey, even over here towards Ames, which is already getting impacted by the storm, back into St. Joseph, even Aurora already starting to get impacted by the storm, and all these cities that I'm naming are in the state of Kansas, and even Morganville actually just getting ready to get hit by the storm. And like I said, this is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny size hail. And if we look at the rotation, not very many, areas of rotation. It looks like we do have a decent area of rotation, pretty much in this area right here. So we do have a decent area of rotation right here, and it does look pretty strong too as well. So certainly, pretty concerning by this point, which will be an area to be watching for as the storm continues to head towards the east. But as of right now, not producing any imminent tornado by this point. But if we go ahead and move farther down here to the south, as you can see, no severe thunderstorm warning by this point, but this is still capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and as well as penny size hail across this area right here, as you can see. So certainly a pretty big storm, still continuing to hold its strength together as it continues to move towards the Gulf of Mexico. This other storm over here looks like it has strengthened a little bit, because we are starting to see some white colors pop up, and a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. This includes Fayette, back into Natchez. These are cities in Mississippi, by the way, back into Port Gibson, and then all the way down here towards Medville, and even Bud will be included in the severe thunderstorm warnings, and this is just 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter size hail. And if we look at the rotation, again, not really seeing any areas of rotation, but this is still going to be a storm to watch for some large hail and as well as some damaging winds. But if we go back to the reflectivity, which pretty much just shows this heavy rainfall and as well as the pretty big storm right here. And let's see here, John says, has there ever been a car size hail? No, there has never been car size hail. The biggest hail that has been reported is 5-inch hail. That's the biggest hail that has been recorded. So hail has actually kind of stayed pretty small, at least smaller than cars by this point. But that is pretty funny. It kind of made me laugh. But anyway, if we go ahead and continue to look at more of these, I do want to take a look at some of these flood warnings as they are in effect. And yeah, I mean, we are dealing with some heavy rainfall. It looks like these storms down here have been strengthening a little little bit. Not concerning, though, by this point, because there's no severe thunderstorm warning. But if these storms do get their act together, these could start to produce 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. We also do, have some other isolated supercells around, which aren't severe as of right now, but we could, certainly be talking some potential severe thunderstorms as they continue to get their acts together. And yeah, so we are going to be checking to see if any of these things are live by this point. So we're going to go ahead and go to my account, and we're just going to be seeing if any storm chasers are live as of right now. And as you can see, no storm chasers are live as of right now, but that's not very surprising because we still need to be waiting for that. But as we do go back to the severe thunderstorms, nothing much in the way of severe thunderstorm warnings up here to the north, even though I did point out that we do have a couple of storms around. And with this storm over here back in Kansas, which does include Clifton, Morganville, and as well as Aurora, and as well as Hutcher, this is still in effect for penny-sized hail and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. And if we look at the reflectivity, we just got to select a radar right here. Still, producing some decent-sized hail. This has actually already passed Hutcher and as well as Aurora in Kansas, but this is still continuing to make its way towards Morganville and as well as Clifton. So if you do live in those cities, make sure to be in your house and away from doors and as well as windows, as we could see some damaging winds and as well as some 1-inch hail in some areas, which isn't likely because we are only talking penny-sized hail, but still enough to do some damage. So certainly going to still be something to keep an eye on. Let's see here. Mountain Dew says, "Yo, Sam, what's up? How are you doing?" I am doing good today. I am doing good. Thanks for joining my live stream. And like I said, that we still do have some severe thunderstorms continuing down here towards the deep south. So if we look at these, as you can see, we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for 60-mile-per-hour winds and as well as nickel-sized hail, which has been observed, by the way. So pretty, large hail and damaging winds still continue to be a possibility with this storm down here in Louisiana, and we're not concerned about it as of right now because we aren't really seeing nearly any rotation. But back up here towards the north, we haven't took a look at this severe thunderstorm warning yet. This is still up for 1-inch hail and as well as 60 or 50-mile-per-hour winds. So 50 to 60-mile-per-hour winds still continue to be a possibility with this storm, but we're mainly concerned about quarter-sized hail as of right now. This includes Lyons back into Little River, Galt back into Chase. These are all cities in Kansas. And if we look at the rotation, we're going to go ahead and select the radar. If we look at the rotation, as you can see, not very strong rotation with any of these storms down here, but still pretty decent as of right now. And this storm up here to the north, which has moved out, but the reason why I was talking about this severe thunderstorm warning is because we still got, an isolated supercell down here. But this storm up to the north, 2-inch hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds. So this storm has actually continued to pack a punch as it does move towards Midway. So if you do live in Midway, which is the only city in the path of the storm as of right now, get indoors immediately because you don't have very much time. So if you do live in Midway, Kansas, like I said, make sure to go indoors immediately because we will likely be talking 2-inch hail and as well as 60 and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds around. So certainly going to still be something to keep an eye on as we, continue to watch this storm closely. We got another supercell behind that, which does include Beaver, Kansas, back into Hoshington, Kansas. and even places like, let's see, don't look like there's any more cities, because looks like this is actually a pretty rural area, by the way, but, this area is continuing to, get impacted by the storm, so nothing much going on, but, still gonna be something to keep an eye on. And we still continue to see the storm up here to the north. Looks like this storm has produced some nickel-sized hail, and that hail core right there is pretty strong, by the way. So, we certainly do still have a pretty strong storm up here to the north, and as you can see, nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts continue to be a threat with this thunderstorm. So nothing, much to worry about. But, you should still be indoors and away from windows if you do live in Clifton and as well as Morganville, Kansas. So that will definitely be areas to continue to keep an eye on as it continues to pack a punch. But if we look back at these severe thunderstorm warnings down here, we're going to go ahead and select a radar first, and as you can see, these storms down here towards Louisiana and as well as Mississippi still continue to be, quite a threat by this point, which, isn't, super concerning by this point, but, still could definitely, still get their acts together and start producing quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And if we look at this one right here, as you can see, quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds continue to be a possibility with this isolated supercell down here towards towards Wickinson. That's one of the cities in this area. Back into Dollar-Osen. That's how you say that. And then even up here towards let's see, Possum Corner as well. So if you do live in this severe thunderstorm warning, which is in Mississippi, make sure you are indoors and away from windows, as we could see quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds with this storm. And even this storm over here into some more areas of Mississippi, such as Fayette, Mississippi, back into Port Gibson, and as well as Budd down here towards the eastern and as well as the southern part of the severe thunderstorm warning, and as well as Medville still are in the path of the storm as it continues to move to the east with 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And if we go a little bit farther up to the north, let's go ahead and check on these ones again while they are still around. And as you can see, we will still likely see some large hail with these ones, because you see 1-inch hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds still continue to be a possibility with this storm as it continues to move off to the east. We got another one right here, one inch hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds, and it does look like we could see hail as high as half dollar size hail, which is 1.25 inches, by the way. Yep, half dollar size hail being the main concern. So 50-mile-per-hour winds and half dollar size hail continue to be the threat with this area right here. And if we go ahead and take a look at a few other ones, let's go ahead and take a look at this one down here towards Louisiana and as well as Mississippi. We're going to go ahead and select a radar again, and as you can see, still some pretty strong storms around. Might have some large hail embedded in some areas, but there's no, white or pink showing up, which usually indicates, large hail, but since none of that is showing up, there's more just heavy rainfall. And as you can see, penny size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds still continue to be a issue with this one, as it does include Cottonport, Marksville, Bucky, back into Oaksdale, Pyrene, and even over here out towards the west in O'Bellant will continue to be in the path of the storm as it continues to move through, which are cities in Louisiana, by the way. So if you do live in these cities in Louisiana, be indoors and as well as away from windows, as we will continue to watch the storm closely. Let's go ahead and check on this flash flood warning in Texas, which is what we haven't done so far. And as you can see, heavy rainfall occurring in that area right now, because there's no yellows, orange, or red showing up. But it's still to the point where we could continue to see some pretty big time flooding, as we will continue to see some light rain in that area. But as we do take a look at this storm up to the north, which we haven't done yet, let's go ahead and check out this radar right here. And as you can see, we still do have a severe thunderstorm warning for penny size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, which continue to head towards Clifton, which is one of the areas that are getting the most out of this severe thunderstorm. But even Vining in Kansas, but even down here towards Morgansville could certainly get impacted by the storm as it continues to move off to the east. So still a storm to watch, but it does look like it is dying down a little bit. Will continue to be live for quite some time, as that storm will continue to look like it could strengthen one of these times. But if we go back down here towards Louisiana, as you can see, we still do have some pretty strong storms around. We got 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail, which has been observed, by the way, across the severe thunderstorm warning right here. And we also do have a severe thunderstorm warning over here, pretty much with these, little small storms over here, which could drop some 1-inch hail and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which isn't really a big concern because, as you can see, there's no big time hail showing up anywhere, and that's because there's no white or purple showing up with this storm. But it's still enough to where there could be some large hail in some areas, but I would probably say more like small hail would be the main concern for right now as we continue to watch the storm closely, which does include Fayette, Port Gibson, St. Joseph, which is just on the edge of that, back into Natchez, which is one of these areas that are seeing the most out of this severe thunderstorm as of right now, and also some other cities too as well included in that area right there. But if we go ahead and take a look at some of these other areas, like this one up here towards the north, as you can see, we do still have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Kansas as of right now. This includes Lyons, back into let's see, we're gonna go ahead back into Ellsworth, even Black Wolf continue to get impacted by the storm. And as you can see, we still continue to see some large hail with this storm because some whites are showing up, but this isn't super large hail. This is more like $half size hail and lighter damaging winds of around 50 miles an hour. And look at this storm just right behind it. As you can see, it actually is starting to show some white. Usually indicates some large hail whenever you see those white colors pulled up, so I wouldn't be surprised if this storm over here did get warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds and $half size hail as we will continue to watch this. And this does include Hitchmanson, I think that's how you say that name, Odin, that's another city in this path in Kansas, and as well as some other areas too as well, which are more rural areas, and that's because there's not as many houses around. But if you are in the path of this storm right here in Kansas, which I'll go ahead and zoom out so you guys can see it, make sure to be indoors and away from windows, as this storm could already start dropping some large hail. And I know it's not severe warning, but like I said, I think it will, as it does look like we could see some large hail out of that. But something else I do want to show you guys is that the Storm Prediction Center has done its update. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys the Storm Prediction Center update. And thankfully we don't have any tornado warnings in effect. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys the Storm Prediction Center update as we still have it. So we're going to go ahead and go to day 1 outlook, which is for today. And as you can see, we still do have a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms across, places like Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Missouri, back into western Kentucky, western Tennessee, Alabama, back into Missouri will be areas included in this marginal risk. But we even got that slight risk going from the Canada border all the way down towards the Gulf of Mexico, and we especially still have this enhanced risk in play too as well. And if we go ahead and look at the hazards, do they have the hazards? Yes, they do. So tornado threat for today, we do have a 5% risk for tornadoes pretty much in this area that you see. Oklahoma looks to be the big time city for tornadoes today, as it is in the highest tornado threat. And if we go ahead and look at the wind threat, we do have a 30% risk for damaging winds. The good news is that there's no hatched risk, which means hurricane force winds are pretty low. But if there were to be a hatched risk, then we could be talking some hurricane force winds. But like I said, there's no hatched risk, so chances of hurricane force winds are low. But the probability of 60-mile-per-hour winds or greater are pretty high. So if you do live in this enhanced risk, please secure your objects right now, and we will continue to watch this pretty closely. And it actually does have a hatched risk. Never mind, I thought it didn't, but it actually does have a hatched risk, which means hurricane force winds are greater. I did not realize that this meant a hatched risk, but so I do apologize for that. But like I said, we do have a hatched risk in play, which means hurricane force winds are possible. And if we look at the hail threat, as you can see, for the hail threat, we just gotta wait for this to load, I think. We gotta go ahead and turn off damaging wind and turn on the hail threat. So for the hail threat for today, is this even gonna work? Thought this was gonna work because the wind threat did work, but hail threat, we might not have a hail threat. Maybe. Let's go ahead and see. We actually can look at this one instead. Oh yeah, we do have a threat for large hail, guys. We do have a threat for large hail pretty much in this area right here. I very well apologize that I wasn't able to show it on here. It was very slow for some reason. But like I said, we actually do have a hatched risk for large hail scale, which means 2-inch hail or greater is possible, and that does include Oklahoma City, Norman, back in the Fort Still, and as well as Wichita Falls will be the bullseye for some large hail today. But like I said, tornado threat and wind threat continue to also be a threat too as well. But let's go ahead and go back to the radar as we continue to watch these storms closely. And as you can see, we still need to be watching the storm down here closely as it continues to head to the north with $half size hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds as it continues to move towards the north. And this storm right here has moved out now, so it's not severe warned as of right now, but we are still actually seeing some of those pinks and as well as some whites, so we could be talking some large hail with that one. This storm back behind that has died down quite a bit because now there's no pinks or whites showing up, so chances of this becoming severe are now lower now, but I'll let you guys know if that one does strengthen. And then these storms down here, let's go ahead and select this radar right here. Continues to be something that we do still need to be watching for as it continues to head to the northeast and as well as the south. So we still need to be watching this storm pretty closely as it does continue to move to the east, which this part of the storm is, and then the south east, which is pretty much heading down into Louisiana with still 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds on both warnings. So still keep staying indoors and away from windows if you are in one of those, which I have explained the cities that are in those. If we go back up towards Kansas, we're not really showing a whole lot. Let's go ahead and see if any of the storm chasers have gone live yet, and that's the reason why I haven't got storm chasers up yet, is because I'm not sure if any of them are live. So let's go ahead and check to see if any of them are live, and it doesn't look like they are, but let's go back, and we still have to wait for storm chasers, guys, but like I said, we still need to be watching these storms pretty closely as they continue to pack a punch. And if we go ahead and go back down here to the south again, we still have some severe thunderstorms in effect, so still going to be some things to keep an eye on as we continue to watch the storm pretty closely. But something else I am going to say is that it looks like you guys haven't left any questions in the chat yet. So if you guys haven't left any questions yet, feel free to leave questions in the chat. And if you do know anybody, which I probably should have said, but if you do know anybody that's under a warning as of right now, that lives in the plains, make sure to give them a call and let them know what could be going on today as we continue to have some warnings around. So if you do have family, in Louisiana, or if you have family in Kansas, or really anywhere in the plains, give them a call and let them know that we could, be talking some severe thunderstorm warnings today. And not only that, also make sure they do join my live stream, because even if there's not a chance of severe thunderstorms for their area today, they could still, be live with me just in case. So I would still recommend, sharing the stream with other families that just in case, a warning does happen. And I also would like to get more subscribers too as well. So if you haven't subscribed already, please press that subscribe button. But we are seeing some storms down here in southern Alabama already starting to get going. As you can see, we do, have a couple of small storms around, already starting to get some lightning strikes showing up with that one, which isn't strong as of right now. That's just, a very minor thunderstorm, just producing some heavy rain and as well as some lightning. But when these storms over here into places like eastern Mississippi, which are still producing 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, same goes for these ones heading deeper into Louisiana. And if you are in this warning, this still includes Fayette, Mississippi, which actually is getting ready to see the severe thunderstorm move their way in probably about 5 minutes. So if you do live in Fayette, Mississippi, make sure to go indoors and wait for the storm to pass. Port Gibson, getting ready to get hit by the storm too as well. Your main concern looks to be 60-mile-per-hour winds, because it doesn't look like there is any purples or even whites showing up, which you usually indicate large hail, like I said. But since none of that is showing up, your main concern will be damaging straight line winds, as this entire severe thunderstorm warning does have a line of storms with it. But even down here towards Bud and Medhettville and even Roxy, Mississippi, will need to also, keep watching the storm closely as it continues to head your way. And I also wouldn't be surprised if some of these other storms did have some warnings on them. I'm just going to go ahead and draw a warning box just to say that these storms right here could certainly be on the severe side as they continue to head close to Jackson. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did add a severe thunderstorm warning for these areas heading towards Jackson, Mississippi, but also Vicksburg, Mississippi, which, continue to be in the path of the storm. But like I said, it is looking pretty strong, so I would not be surprised to see this get warned for mainly 60-mile-per-hour winds, but there could also be some small hail too as well. Areas up here to the north, we're going to go ahead and select this one right here. As you can see, not a whole lot of a tornado threat with these storms just yet, but as you can see, some very large hail actually is already starting to show up with this storm. So as you can see, we are starting to get more in the way of a hail core showing up because of these purples and whites. So the areas that are getting ready to potentially experience some very large hail includes Pollard, Kansas, back into Geneseo, Kansas, but also Galt, Kansas, will be included in the path of this hail core. And like I said, all these cities are in Kansas. So if you do live in those areas, make sure to be indoors and away from windows, as we could be talking greater than 1-inch hail, and as well as 50-mile-per-hour winds. So I wouldn't be surprised if this get upgraded to 2-inch hail, as this continues to look pretty severe by this point, and that will likely be the case as it does move to the north. Over here, though, as you can see, the storm actually did strengthen a little bit. This is actually getting ready to head towards Auden, Kansas, but also some more areas too as well, and this one's actually getting ready to head into that severe thunderstorm warning too as well. So we could be talking a severe thunderstorm warning with this one too as well, as it continues to move to the east. And like I said earlier, this thing could, strengthen or not strengthen, and it actually did strengthen a little bit, so that will be a storm that we do need to start keeping an eye on. Over here, the severe thunderstorm warning is still ongoing, but it's not that concerning anymore because that has already passed the warning, so hopefully that will expire pretty soon. We still do have these warnings down here towards the deep south, and as you can see, 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds that continue to be a threat with those ones, with this line of storms as it continues to move through. And these storms have actually weakened quite a bit, so I don't think this area over here is that big of a concern, and I would probably expect them to delete that warning, as there is no severe thunderstorm there. But we still do have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Louisiana. This is Gulf or penny size hail, and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. And like I said, guys, share this with any of your family that lives in the plains, deep south, or anywhere else, so that way they are safe from these severe thunderstorms. And also feel free to leave questions in the chat too as well. Certainly ask as many questions as you want, and I should be able to answer most of them, so feel free to leave questions in the chat if you haven't already. But if we go ahead and go back to these ones up here to the north, like I said earlier, these storms are actually continuing to pack quite a punch with some pretty large hail, because as you can see, this hail core right here is already starting to strengthen as it does head to the north. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this did upgrade to 2-inch hail, and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds as this continues to head up to the north. This one over here did strengthen even a little bit more with these areas over here, which actually is actually over Auden, Kansas, by the way. So these areas right here that you see or are in the path of this storm. So Auden, Kansas, you are in the path of this hail core, so make sure you are going indoors and away from windows, as this storm could drop some large hail. So like I said, even if it's not severe warned, it could still drop some large hail due to what's shown on the reflectivity. But let's go ahead and take a look at these thunderstorms a little bit farther down south again, which still continue to be a pretty big deal by this point, as we continue to see threats for 1-inch hail and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. And as you can see, we do still continue to be watching this one pretty closely, and that severe thunderstorm warning up here or right here has expired, so that's good news. But areas over here are still in the path for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, as this will continue to be something to keep an eye on. We still need to be watching this one too, as well, as this one will likely continue to produce some penny-sized hail and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour winds, and this is still continuing to impact cotton pork, Bucky, back into Oakdale, and even Pine Prairie. So these areas will still continue to be impacted by the storm. We got some more storms over here starting to form across Roseland and as well as Arcola in Louisiana, so these areas could also see some severe thunderstorm warnings as it will continue to move off towards the east. So like I said, if you do live in the severe thunderstorms, make sure to be indoors and away from windows. That's the right thing to do whenever there's a storm. Let's go ahead and look at this one. It looks like this is a new warning because I didn't see this earlier today. So as we do look at this new warning over here, we're going to go ahead and select this radar nearby it. And this one continues to be severe with 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds as it does move towards Camden, South Carolina, but also South Carolina, and as well as a few other cities. And this area is a little bit rural, but this also includes Jordan Mill, back into Westville, Gaston Mill, all included in this path of this severe thunderstorm. And like I said, 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail will be a pretty big problem as that severe thunderstorm continues to head to the north. We do have some other ones in North Carolina. It looks like we are starting to see some of that white pop up, and latest radar stand just took that away. So it looks like those storms are kind of dying down a little bit. Over here, back towards Louisiana, we still continue to see these storms be quite severe, as you know, these will continue to pack a punch still. And yeah, still severe with 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds across this area right here. So if you do live in one of these warnings, which this one still includes Fayetteville, back in the Port Gibson, and as well as Roxy in Mississippi, but this warning down here does include Lafayette, Louisiana now, as this is still producing 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Jennings, Louisiana, back into Lake Arthur, but also Port Bear, Washington, Sunset, Church Point, and as well as some more other areas in Louisiana will continue to get impacted as the severe thunderstorm warning does head to the south. So if you do live in that area, make sure to be on high alert and be indoors and away from windows if you do live in one of these severe thunderstorm warnings. Back up here to the north, as you can see, they did have that severe thunderstorm warning right over here expire, so that one isn't concerning anymore. But we still need to be watching these two storms up here as they continue to pack a punch, producing 1-inch hail and even some 50-mile-per-hour winds. And like I said, this one could upgrade to 2-inch hail, which it did. 2-inch hail and now 50-mile-per-hour winds are now being indicated by radar. So this storm continues to look pretty significant as it does continue to head to the north. And if we go back and look at this one in South Carolina, this one's still hitting those exactly same areas or cities that I did point out earlier. And if we look at these ones do look like, you know, they are pretty strong, because yeah, they are still pretty strong, producing some 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is more of a wind threat for my opinion, because there's no white or purple showing up, so chances of 1-inch hail are pretty low with this storm. But like I said, some damaging winds looks to be the main concern as of right now. But if this storm does strengthen, it could also produce some core size hail too as well, which is 1 inch in diameter, by the way. If we do go back and check for some live storm chasers, don't look like we got any live storm chasers just yet. We're gonna go ahead and switch accounts to see if anything starts popping up as we switch accounts. So yeah, no live storm chasers as of right now. We still gotta keep waiting for those storm chasers to go live, but we still, you know, are continuing to do live coverage as we continue to have some storms around. So if we go ahead and look at a few more of these storms, which do look to be quite concerning by this point, especially this one up here in Kansas, which still is producing 2-inch hail and as well as 50-mile-per-hour winds, and look at that. That just strengthened even more because now some dark purple is showing up. That usually can indicate some very large hail right there. So pretty concerning now with this hail core as it continues to move up to the north. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did upgrade this storm up here to the north to 2-inch hail, if why not even 3-inch hail, as this one will continue to head that way. And areas that are getting impacted by the storm does include Galt back into Pollard, Kansas, but also let's see, is there any cities? Geneseo, Kansas, and then up here in this next severe thunderstorm warning, Midway will likely get impacted by the storm as it moves up to the north. And as well as Venango, Kansas, and as well as Yankee Run will all be in the path of the severe thunderstorm as it continues to move. We do have a severe thunderstorm over here in this area. The reason why I'm calling it severe is because it does look like it could be dropping some 1-inch hail and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour winds as it continues to head towards the east. But that one isn't severe warning, so we're not super concerned about it as of right now, but we'll keep watching. Areas down here towards the southern part of Louisiana still continue to get impacted by these storms as they produce 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So if you do live in one of these severe thunderstorm warnings, like I said, be indoors and away from windows, but do the same thing too if you live in one of these. And like I said, I did point out some of the cities too as well in these ones. So if you do live in one of these severe thunderstorm warnings, continue to stay indoors and away from windows. And let's go ahead and select a radar so we can get another view of this. And yeah, still continues to look pretty significant by this point as we are still continuing to see those purples with some 1-inch hail and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour winds. So still going to be something that we still do need to keep an eye on as we continue to watch the storm pretty closely. And I am stretching, by the way, just to help my body get relax. So like I said, we will need to still be watching the storm closely as it continues to move up to the north and impact this severe thunderstorm warning up here, and even this one up here could also produce some 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds as it continues to head towards the east. We are still waiting for storm chasers, I think. Let's go ahead and see which ones are going to go live today. Don't look like he's going to go live, but he is a pretty good storm chaser. What about him? He isn't live yet, but he will be going live in at least an hour. Let's see, this one now. There's a lot of storm chasers that I know. I'm just trying to see if any of them are live to see if there's any, severe thunderstorms ongoing. Let's see here. We got a new notification. New subscriber. We got Bad CRC. Thank you very much, Bad BCRC. Thank you very much for subscribing. I really do appreciate that. And that is a little bit of a weird name, by the way, but at least thanks for subscribing. I really do appreciate that. But back to radar again. We will continue to see if any more storm chasers will go live, but if we continue to look at radar again, we will likely see some more severe thunderstorm warnings as we continue to watch these closely. So this one up here to the north still packing quite a punch, as we will likely see some more in the way of warnings. This one down here towards Louisiana is still producing some 1-inch hail and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour winds. Same goes for this one with 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds here in Mississippi, as you can see. So still going to be a storm that we do need to keep an eye on still, as this will continue to move off to the east. And yeah, so certainly still gonna be something to keep an eye on. Let's go ahead and see if we got any mesoscale discussions. We haven't checked that for a little while yet, but let's go ahead and turn on watches and discussions to see if we got any around. And yeah, we got one right here, mesoscale discussion. Let's see, there's a 60% chance of a watch getting issued. And yeah, so we certainly need to be watching this area scale for a watch to get issued. Up here to the north, we got another mesoscale discussion that we still need to be keeping an eye on too as well. But let's go ahead and go back to settings. We're gonna turn those off after we looked at them, and we're just gonna go to warnings now. And yeah, like I said, we don't nearly have as much of a severe thunderstorm warning, but yeah, so still gonna be something to keep an eye on. And we do have a line of storms already starting to develop. This one, could be on the severe side as we continue to get closer, but no warnings as of right now. I'm looking to see if we do have any more. It looks like he's live, but he's not a storm chaser at this point. We're gonna go back to the radar now after looking at that. And yeah, so we still got to keep waiting for storm chaser to be live and all those people. We're gonna go ahead and exit out and refresh the tab to see if any more people will join soon. And it looks like the Golden Jackal just subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much, Gordon Jackal. I really do appreciate that. And if you guys are on my live stream right now, feel free to ask questions, and you guys can also leave comments down below on any of my other videos. And if you are under severe thunderstorm warning, make sure to do what I said, because I do want to keep you guys safe from any of these severe thunderstorm warnings. But back to the radar, we still do have some severe thunderstorm warnings continuing down here for these areas, and these flash flood warnings behind it still continue to be ongoing, but that's not what we're concerned about. We're still concerned about 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds with both storms. Areas up here to the north in Kansas continue to look quite significant still, with some 1 and 3/4 of an inch hail, which let's see what that is. Golf ball size hail, that's right. Golf ball size hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds continue to be a possibility with the storm as it continues to move up to the north. Galt, Kansas still is in the line, so you got some time to still prepare. This storm over here looks like it's still gonna produce some 1-inch hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds as this enters the severe thunderstorm warning, and I'm mainly concerned about that because of some lights showing up, so there could certainly be some 1-inch hail in that one. Areas down here in the deep south, not really looking that concerning, because like I said, there's just 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds on each storm, so that isn't as concerning as up there in Kansas. But if we look at this radar in South Carolina, we still are seeing some 1-inch hail and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour winds with this storm right here, as you can see. And this storm right here, like I said, 60-mile-per-hour winds and core size hail still continue to be a possibility. Over here back down towards Louisiana, like I said, it's not super concerning, but I would still like everyone to be indoors if you are under a severe thunderstorm warning as of right now, because 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds can still cause some damage. So if you are in those areas, make sure to be indoors and away from windows. If we go ahead a little bit farther to the north, we do still have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. This one down here to the south is still for golf ball size hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds as this storm continues to produce some 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, or golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, or could certainly be some 1-inch hail, but we're mainly looking out for golf ball size hail, which is bigger, by the way. This storm over here still looks pretty significant with some 1-inch hail and even some 50-mile-per-hour winds. So certainly another storm that we still need to be watching closely. Let's go ahead and see if any of these storm chasers have gone live. I think Storm Runner Mia is gonna be going live pretty soon. Let's go ahead and look at what he's got. He's not going live yet, but he will be live soon. It looks like. What about Freddie McKinney? Him. It looks like he's gonna be going live very late. So yeah, we don't have a whole lot of Storm Chasers live as of right now. But I'm just going back so we can see what's happening. But like I said, we don't have any Storm Chasers as of right now, and we also don't really have very many warnings in effect either. So like I said, feel free to leave questions in the chat, and before things really start to get going this evening, you feel free to share this live stream with other people who you know from the plains, Midwest, and as well as parts of the deep south, especially the Arklatex region, which is Louisiana, Arkansas, and as well as Texas. So if you do have any people that live in the plains or even the Arklatex region, make sure to share the stream with them, as they will continue to get updates from me, and I do want to save their lives too as well if they are under a warning. So like I said, make sure to do that if you do have family in the plains or even the deep south, as we will likely see some more severe thunderstorm warnings. And if you have anyone from Oklahoma, you must share this stream with them, because Oklahoma does look to be the bullseye for today, which things haven't gotten started yet, but Oklahoma is going to be the bullseye today, as they are under a level 3 out of 5 threat for severe thunderstorms across portions of Oklahoma, with a tornado threat, wind, and as well as a hail threat. So still going to be something that we really need to keep an eye on, as we will continue to watch this very closely. And these storms down here, it looks like we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning. These ones down here aren't new, because they still do include the same areas. They just are lessening, meaning getting smaller, and that's because of how the storm is acting. But if we go ahead and look at these storms, let's go ahead and select this radar right there, and as you can see, still continue to be severe with 1-inch hail in that one. Looks like we still have some 1-inch hail in that one, and then 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds up here to the north across this one right here, which I already explained earlier. But Fayette, Port Gibson are already under the storm as of right now, but Vicksburg, even into Jackson, Mississippi, look at that, Jackson, Mississippi is already under a warning for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, and I was worried about that earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if this storm up here did come severe, and it turns out it did, so that is not surprising, and I am very proud of myself for getting that right, that we will see a severe thunderstorm up here, and it turns out we did. So if you are in Jackson, Mississippi, Raymond, Mississippi, back into Edwards, or even up here towards Flora, Mississippi, make sure to go indoors and away from windows, as we will likely see some damaging winds and some 1-inch hail too as well. Back up here to the north, we still continue to see quite a hail core, and look at that, this storm right here is actually already starting to make that hook shape. Look at that, that hook shape is already starting to show on the reflectivity, which usually indicates a potential for a tornado. So if you do live in Galt, Galt, Kansas, all the way up here into let's see, any more, say like Midway, and as well as Landling, Kansas, make sure to be prepared for a potential tornado, as this is already starting to look like a hook shape from the latest radar scan. So that is definitely looking quite significant right there. And if we look at the velocity, we're gonna go ahead and look at the rotation. We actually do have an area of rotation across this area. It's just very broad. We're going to go back to reflectivity for a minute so we can see exactly where this is. So we pretty much would see rotation in this area right here, but we're going to go back to the reflectivity to see where that is, or the sorry, the rotation rather. And yeah, there is a small area of rotation. It's just very broad as of right now. So very broad rotation, which sometimes can indicate a potential tornado. So that's why I'm saying, make sure you are indoors and away from windows, and as well as be prepared for a potential tornado if you are in one of these warnings in Kansas. And like I said, I even explained a lot of these cities in it. If we go back down here towards the deep south, we still need to be watching these ones closely too, as well, as they continue to pack a punch, and I am pretty thirsty, so let me go ahead and get a drink, and I'll continue to be live with you guys. Just hold on 1 minute. I'm gonna go get a drink. Alright, I'm back now. I'm back. So yeah, as you can see, still got some pretty big severe thunderstorms ongoing right now. Looks like Lafayette, Louisiana, Jennings, and Lake Arthur are still under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel-sized hail, but I call it 1-inch hail because it does estimate. So still going to be a storm to watch closely as that continues to head to the east. We do still have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for South Carolina, as this could still be capable of producing 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, which isn't, that severe. But if you are in this warning in South Carolina, be away from windows and as well as be indoors if you do live in this warning in South Carolina. Areas in Kansas, let's go ahead and look at that. We still do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Kansas for golf ball size hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds, which still continue to be a possibility. And yeah, that does still look quite significant, and those other warnings have expired up there to the north, but we still have that hook shape on this storm. So like I said, this could still be capable of producing a tornado, as this is trying to get its act together and try to make that hook shape, as you can see right there. Let's see here. TTV King says hi there, TTV King. Thanks for joining my live stream. That is certainly very nice of you guys, and feel free to stick around if you want to. You don't have to, but you can, and that will certainly be awesome. So if we continue to keep an eye on these storms, as you can see, this one over here just north of Hillsboro and as well as Canton, Kansas, does look to be pretty severe. That is actually getting ready to impact Durham, Kansas, so this is likely going to continue to be a severe thunderstorm as it continues to move to the east. So I wouldn't be surprised if it did get severe, because like I said, it is severe because those whites are showing up, which usually does indicate some hail. And as you can see, still showing some hail on the latest radar scan. Back over here, as you can see, it is starting to lose its hook shape a little bit, but it's still has the potential to recycle again and turn back into a significant hook shape as it will continue to move up to the north. Back down here towards Louisiana, we still continue to see some pretty active warnings around, because as you can see, we still have the sign of storms impacting places like Jennings, which Jennings you probably have about 10 to 15 minutes before the storm hits you. Lafayette, Louisiana, one of the more populated cities, you guys will probably be getting impacted in about 20 minutes. Crowley, Louisiana, and as well as Rayne, Louisiana, will likely start to get impacted by the storm in also about 15 to 20 minutes too as well. So if you are in those cities, get ready for some nickel size hail, so nickel liqueur size hail, and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds, as that will continue. Over here towards Jackson, Mississippi, you are still under a warning. Not that Jackson, Mississippi, I meant this one up here. Yeah, Jackson, Mississippi, you are still under a warning for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So if you are in this warning, which does include mainly the western part of Jackson, heading into Clinton, back into places like Edwards and Raymond, Mississippi, but also some more areas like Flora, Mississippi. You guys are all under a severe thunderstorm warning as of right now for still 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. But Jackson, Louisiana, not Jackson, Mississippi, but Jackson, Louisiana is still under a warning. This is for nickel-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, as this will continue to be quite severe as it continues to head to the east. And like I said, that isn't Jackson, Mississippi, that is Jackson, Louisiana. Looks like Baton Rouge could get impacted this pretty soon, which I do think it will, but we're not going to be going over that just yet. We're going to wait till that storm does get closer. Back up here to the north, we still do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for, half-dollar size hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds across places like central Kansas. So if you are under this warning, which does include Little River, and as well as Galt, Kansas, be indoors and away from windows, as this storm could still be capable of producing some 1-inch hail and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour winds or 50-mile-per-hour winds, but I do still think some 60-mile-per-hour winds will continue to be possible with this storm as it does head to the north. Let's see here. TTV King says, hey, hi again. TTV King, thanks for joining again. Like I said, I really do appreciate it, and like I said, you can stick around if you want to, or you can, watch other things if you want to, just whatever you want to do on my stream, feel free to. But if we go ahead and see if any storm chasers are live as of right now, we're going to go ahead and look, because it is almost looking like we are going to have a storm chaser go live pretty soon, because let's see, Storm Runner Media should be going live pretty soon, because he says he's going to go live at 5 o'clock. Wow, 5 o'clock actually. Pretty interesting that he's going to be going live a little bit later, but we will still continue to be live for this time period, as we will continue to see some severe thunderstorm warnings be in effect. And like I said, we still do have a line of severe thunderstorm warnings heading from, let's say, Lafayette, Louisiana, all the way back up here towards Jackson, Mississippi, producing 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds in all of these warnings. So like I said, be indoors and away from windows if you are under the sign of storms. Let's see here. TDV King says, I like yours. Thank you very much. That is very nice of you, TTV King. That is certainly one of the nicest things I have heard from a person on my channel. So like I said, I really do appreciate that. That is very nice of you. But we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning up here to the north. We got a severe thunderstorm warning for 1-inch hail and 60 mile-per-hour winds across this area right here. And if we look at the radar, we just gotta wait for this to load. We still are seeing, some pretty good strong storms in this area with 1-inch hail and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds across this area. And let's see here. But how is Minnesota Marshall? So Marshall, Minnesota. Let's go ahead and see that. It looks like I gotta look that up, so just hold on 1 second. So Marshall, Minnesota, Marshall, Minnesota location. So Marshall, Minnesota, it says southwest. So let's go ahead and look at southwest. So Marshall, Minnesota, which is right here. I finally found it. So Marshall, Minnesota. It looks like you might be dealing with some storms. Let's go ahead and select the radar to see. So let's go ahead and select this one. Yeah, you are dealing with some rain as of right now. It doesn't look like you got any lightning, though, which is good news. But you are dealing with some rain as of right now. So it is looking pretty rainy for you. And it looks like behind that, we could also be talking a few more rounds of showers and thunderstorms as that one continues to head towards the east. So you are looking on the rainy side of things, my friend. And I do think you will have a few more rounds of storms as these, continue to try to get their acts together as they do move off to the east. So, you can continue to be on my live stream just in case these storms back here do turn severe. So, like I said, these storms behind it will need to be watched as they do move to your east with, like I said, could propose, some severe thunderstorms. So, like I said, you can be live with me if you are worried about those becoming severe, but there's also a chance they don't, so just, be on high alert just in case they do. But if we look at this one down here towards Kansas again, this one still continues to be severe, and it looks like they did upgrade hail to half-dollar size hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds for this storm right here in Kansas. Still includes Little Rock, still includes Galt, not Minnesota, Galt, Kansas is still included in that severe thunderstorm warning, so still continue to be indoors and away from windows. This storm down here still continues to pack a punch. And we will likely see some 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds with these storms as they continue to move off to the east with still 1-inch hail and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds with this line of storms as it continues to move through. So still going to need, these will still need to be watched closely as they continue to move to the south and as well as the east. Let's see here. TDV King says, thank you. You're the best because you actually read and help people. That's why I like yours. Thank you very much again. That is very nice of you. Yeah, that's exactly why I do these live streams, is to help save people's lives. And that's also what I wrote about me. So if you want to, read that part on my channel, you can, or you can just stick around on my live stream if you want. But like I said, that's also what I wrote about me, is that I try to go live to keep people safe from a lot of these storms. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, thank you very much. I do appreciate that again. But we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for these areas. Looks like we're gonna have to do that radar over there, because usually when you have a radar right on top of a severe thunderstorm, usually they aren't very accurate when they're right on top of it, because usually radar looks out way far. But this one is severe as of right now. Let's see. Nickel size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So this is going to also be, a pretty big storm too as well, mainly impacting northern Davenport, heading up there towards Long Grove, Iowa too as well. Also includes Maysville, Iowa, but also includes Argo, Iowa. So those areas are all under a severe thunderstorm warning. Be indoors and away from windows, as this could produce some decent sized hail up to about nickel size and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. So still continue to be on, high alert for that if you are in that warning. We are starting to see the sign of storms right here still continuing to move off to the east. So this storm is, still continuing to move off to the east, as it, will eventually impact some other cities in Iowa and as well as southern Minnesota. And you aren't in Marshall, Minnesota is not in the path of this severe thunderstorm. Marshall, Minnesota is right here, like I said. So you are looking fine, my friend. You are looking fine. So just, watch these storms behind it for the possibility of severe weather. But like I said, you aren't in the sign of storms as of right now, which, like I said, is good news. So you are dealing with some rain, obviously, but not any, thunderstorms or severe thunderstorms. So you are still looking good, my friend. Looks like we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning right here for 1-inch hail and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds across, pretty much the border of Nebraska and as well as Missouri, and this includes Nebraska back into Brownsville, Nebraska, and as well as Nebraska are under a severe thunderstorm warning, which again 1-inch hail and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds with this storm right here, as that is actually just getting ready to cross into Missouri. We still need to be watching a few of these other storms, because as you can see, we still do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds with this storm right here, as you can see, and it doesn't look very strong, but it's still, enough to cause some hail and as well as some gusty winds and as well as some damaging winds. So damaging winds and nickel-sized hail still continue to be a possibility with that storm. Looks like we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning across this area right here, 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And I know it's not showing this storm being very strong, but the next radar stand should be showing that any minute, and never mind, it wasn't because the storm isn't that strong. It was because I meant to select a different radar, that's why. And yeah, that one's actually showing severe with 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind, so it does look a little bit more accurate as I switch radars. This one over here, we're going to go ahead and switch radars again, and yeah, this one looks severe too. 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds still continue to be a possibility with that one. This one over here in Nebraska, we're going to go ahead and select that radar. Still is a pretty big storm with 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Look how significant that looks. That is definitely, capable of producing 2-inch hail right there, especially because of how extreme those whites and purples are. Iowa, looks like you guys are still under a severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like 60-mile-per-hour winds have been observed, unfortunately. So if you are, in this warning, still stay in your safe spots, as there could still be some more 60-mile-per-hour winds around after that one just has got reported. And if we go ahead and select a radar, and like I said, we can't select radars when they're on top of the severe warning because they look way far out. But if we go ahead and select this radar right here, not like looking super strong using this radar. We might have to choose a different one. Let's see, how does it look like with this radar? Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit better. So just keep in mind that 60-mile-per-hour winds and core-sized hail is still going to be a threat with this severe thunderstorm warning as it continues to move off to the east. And like I said, you can't choose radars on top of the severe thunderstorm warning, unfortunately, like I said, because radars look super far out and they they can't, they don't necessarily show information right on top of them. So like I said, even though it's not, looking that bad, it's still pretty severe, especially after a 60-mile-per-hour wind being reported. If we go ahead and look far down here to the south, we're going to go ahead and select this radar right here. We still continue to see this line of storms move through with 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail with with all of these warnings. So still, it continues to be, quite a big thing with a lot of these storms as they move to the east and as well as the south and east. So still looking to be quite a big storm as it continues to move towards the Gulf of Mexico. Now, if we look up here, let's see, we do actually have a new warning in effect. Let's go ahead and select that radar right there. And this one is looking pretty strong, pretty significant with half-dollar size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds with that storm right there. So certainly a storm that we still need to be watching closely for, as it will likely continue to pack a punch. And yeah, we even got, some supercells pretty much right in front of it, as you can see. So right in front of it, we still do have, a couple of supercells right in front of this storm. So still, looking to be on the severe side. We still have this warning in effect right too. And as you can see, they did upgrade that to half-dollar and as well as ping pong ball size hail. So ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's the biggest hail we have seen today so far. And yeah, that does look quite significant right there, like I said. So if you are, in the path of this severe thunderstorm, which does include Brownsville, but especially Nemaha, Nebraska, make sure to be indoors and away from windows, as this will likely produce some ping pong ball size hail and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour winds. So certainly going to be one storm to watch closely for. If we go ahead and look at this radar again, still we got a line of storms ongoing, but like I said, none of the storms, behind it are severe, so you are still looking okay. Down here, back towards Louisiana, we still continue to deal with some severe thunderstorms, producing, some 1-inch hail and as well as some 60-mile-per-hour winds. So still going to be something to keep an eye on, as this will likely continue to impact more areas. And yeah, so if you are still in the path of this severe thunderstorm warning, still includes Lafayette, Louisiana, back into Jennings, but also places like Jackson, Louisiana, pretty much north of Baton Rouge, and even up here towards Gloucester, Louisiana, and as well as Mississippi, are still in the path of this severe thunderstorm warning. So still, be indoors and away from windows if you are still in this path. But if we go ahead and take a look back at these two right here, we're going to go ahead and select this one, and we can because it's not right on top of it. But yeah, still continues to produce 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, as it does look a little bit more significant. Same goes with this one over here, already past Lynchburg, which is pretty much now to the north east of Lynchburg, and this will still likely produce some, 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds with that one right there, as you can see. So still, something to keep an eye on, as that will continue to head towards Amherst. But we will also need to be watching these storms up here to the north still as well. But a new flash flood warning has gotten issued for pretty much the Louisville area. This has been observed, and if we look at this, it looks like we will, be seeing some flash flooding caused by thunderstorms pretty much in this area right here. So we're going to go ahead and select a radar. Let's go ahead and select this one and see how these storms are doing. Or let's actually go ahead and select this one. That might be a little bit better. Yeah, so yeah, still, dealing with somewhat some severe thunderstorms across the Louisville area, like I said. But, those are actually kind of heading out, but, those are looking, more on the weaker side of things. Let's see here. Jamie said, or Jamie, Jamie says, doing a great job, bud. You're on your way to being a great meteorologist if that's your goal. Absolutely, Jamie. I really do appreciate that too as well. That is very nice of you, and you can certainly stick around with my stream if you would like to. But like I said, I really do appreciate that. That is very nice of you, and yes, I will certainly be a meteorologist when I get older. But we do have another severe thunderstorm warning up here towards northern Iowa with nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds across this warning right here. And if we go ahead and select a radar with this storm, as you can see, quite a significant line of storms already starting to move towards Forest City, which isn't included in the warning, but it probably will be as it does continue to move towards Forest City and as well as Mason City, Iowa. But the area that's getting impacted as of right now does include Livermore, Iowa, back into St. Joseph, Iowa. So that's definitely, some pretty strong of a storm already starting to impact those areas. And let's see here. TDV King says, Jamie, I agree. Absolutely. You guys are very nice. I really like you guys. You guys have been very helpful with this live stream, and you guys have just been my best friend. Thank you guys very much. You guys are awesome. But we still are seeing some severe thunderstorm warnings down here towards the deep south, and it looks like they did add a tornado possible tag with this one right here. So let's go ahead and check the velocity on this one. Let's go ahead and select the radar. We're gonna go ahead and select that one, and with this one, let's go ahead and select the velocity, which usually indicates the rotation. We don't have a ton of rotation, but there is some rotation pretty much in this area right here. So we do have a little area of rotation. If we look at the debris signature, no immediate debris ball being shown, so we are looking fine. So nothing, much to worry about with this storm as it continues to move towards Hazelhurst, Mississippi. So, things are, looking better than what could have been happening, but still continues to be a threat as it does move towards Hazelhurst, and then it will eventually move into Georgetown, Mississippi. So still going to be something to keep an eye on as this continues to move towards the east. And we don't have any new severe thunderstorm warnings as of right now, but we will go ahead and check on the Minnesota storms again to see how those ones are doing. And those ones aren't looking severe yet, but those are still looking to, produce some heavy rain and lightning as those continue to move towards the east. If we check out this one again, we will still be talking some half-dollar size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, so this will still continues to be a pretty, large hail threat across this severe thunderstorm rain right here, which is already on Windham, and as well as Little River in Kansas. So certainly, a pretty populated area, and if you do live in this area, be indoors and away from windows as this will continue to move towards the east. And let's see here. Jamie says, you are very welcome. I subscribe, so I'll definitely be sticking around. Thank you very much, Jamie. I really do appreciate that. And let's see. TTV King says, even though you are a small creator, you have a lot of exhaustment. Yeah. I mean, thank you very much, guys. I really do appreciate that, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around too, as well as we will continue to keep an eye on these warnings. But it is 4:30 now, which is when Storm Runner Media was gonna go live, and if we look at that, so let's go ahead and click on Storm Runner Media, and he isn't live right now, it doesn't look like, but it looks like he is scheduled to go live in about 15 minutes. So we are looking, okay for the next, 15 minutes or so, as we will still continue to be watching these storms very closely. But again, Jamie, and as well as TTV King. You guys are very nice. And again, thank you very much for sticking around. That is very nice of you guys, like I said. And if we look at these Mississippi storms again, still 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds will still need to be watched as these continue to move towards the east. And if we go ahead and select a radar, still looking, quite significant as those will continue to move towards the east. And both of these radars are showing a little bit of a difference, but still, pretty, pretty, strong as they will continue to move towards the east. Let's see. Jamie says, oops, sorry. You don't need to be sorry, Jamie. You didn't do anything wrong. Let's see. You said Ben Williams is live. So let's go see. Ben Williams. Let's go see. Ben Williams. Let's see. There's a lot of channels, but let me see if I can find it. Let's write Storm Chaser. Storm Chaser. Let's see, and you are right. Ben Williams is live. Thank you very much for telling me that, Jamie. That is very nice of you. I never heard about him before, but I will probably pull up his stream now that.
Oh, really? Okay.
But,
yeah.
Yep.
Took that last
night.
night.
Please let me know in the chat if you guys can hear this.
I don't know. I
kind
of just saw a rain shower. I don't know.
But if you guys can hear it, feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead.
Here's Stormrunner Media right here, guys. Stormrunner Media. These guys are the clutchest guys that I know. They've helped me and Connor out so many times. All right, what's the expectation?
Hopefully a couple tornadoes, but
yeah.
Based on yesterday, I'm nervous.
I'm just happy to see like a supercell today.
So it's not telling me where they are located.
Get something that lasts longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
But
yeah,
it looks like they are located.
I think this one's not going to be
Oklahoma.
I mean, it's only 4:30. It's only 4:30 though.
Let's see here. Jamie
the
says
Earth fires are like
audio,
6 or 7, but it's
quality.
always like an hour late sometimes. So I wouldn't be shocked if like this is the one.
Microphone's plugged in, so I wasn't able to hear it. But yeah, and the reason why it's skipping is because they're losing signal.
You guys are live, right? About to go.
It is, eventually going to connect back on as they do continue to move. So,
5.
Yeah. So like I said, they are in Oklahoma as of right now, it looks like, and they will continue.
It's juiced out here. It's juiced.
They do so.
I was walking around, I'm already like drenched in sweat.
That's a good sign, though.
Getting ready to go live pretty soon. Let's see.
I hope it's not too like milky.
King says not good. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know that my audio quality was good too as well. So
yeah, this is Stormrunner Media. They got a great setup. We're in Weatherford, Oklahoma.
Nice.
So about like 40 to 50 miles to the west of OKC.
Let's go see what he has, because when I looked at his live stream, it doesn't look like he was going to go live till about 6 o'clock.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and see.
I know.
We're going to do this Freddie McKinney, which is right here. And yeah, he isn't going to go
the
live
sky
till
could be milky today, guys, because
like
there is like.
So let's see. Jamie says you might want to lower
the dew points are like 76, so it could be kind of a milk show.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So yeah, I see what you're saying too as well, Jamie. Thanks for telling me that too as well. And I actually did turn off the sound, so it should be working now that I turned it off. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys telling me what's going on with my live stream, and of course, thanks for sticking around. Still, that is very nice of you guys. And let's see. Stormrunner Media should be live in any second. Let's go ahead and check back on his page. Yep, he'll be live in about 30 minutes. About 30 minutes is when he'll be live, so we still gotta keep waiting. But let's go ahead and check on the severe thunderstorm warnings again. We haven't checked on those for a few minutes. Let's go ahead and see. So Baton Rouge is now included in a warning now for nickel-sized hail, and as well as 60 mile per hour winds pretty much in the Baton Rouge metro area, heading all the way up to Macomb, Mississippi. So those areas are now under a new severe thunderstorm warning, which, like I said, nickel-sized hail and 60 mile per hour winds. And again, Jamie, thanks for telling me I'm doing a great job. That is very nice of you. And let's go back up to the north, where we do have a severe thunderstorm warning already in effect for Iowa still, and this is still going to continue to move towards the east. And as you can see, nickel-sized hail and 60 mile per hour winds are going to continue to be a thing. And as you can see, 60 mile per hour winds have been observed with this severe thunderstorm warning. It's not going to tell me where, but it has been observed with this severe thunderstorm warning. So, you know, there could certainly still be some 60 mile per hour winds around. And this one down here in Kansas, we haven't took a look at that one for quite some time, and still continues to look quite significant with now golf ball size hail and 60 mile per hour winds continue to be a pretty big threat with this severe thunderstorm as it does head towards Marquette, back into Lindsborg, and as well as McPherson. McPherson is also included in that severe thunderstorm warning in the state of Kansas. So certainly we will still need to be watching this pretty closely, as this will continue to head towards the east. So certainly still something to watch for. If we look at these two over here, we're going to go ahead and select this radar. We're going to look at this one. And yeah, still showing some white. Could indicate some 1-inch hail, but also some 60 mile per hour winds, especially because it is shaped like a line. This one over here, we're going to go ahead and select this radar. Still is pretty, you know, strong. 1-inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds are still a thing, as this one will continue to head to the north and east. So still going to be a storm to keep an eye on, as we will still need to be watching that. And then we still do have severe thunderstorm warning in effect. It looks like they did take off the tornado possible tag with that one, but I kind of do want to check the velocity then, just to make sure there's nothing too crazy going on. So we're actually going to select that one down there, and we're going to check the velocity. So check the velocity and maybe a little bit of rotation, but extremely broad, so not that concerning for that one. Let's look at the velocity down here, and we don't really see any rotation with those storms. Looks like we could have some areas of rotation, but again, very broad, so we aren't really, you know, worried about any tornado threat with these lines of storms as it continues to move towards the south and as well as the east. So still going to be a storm to keep an eye on as it continues to move to the east and as well as the south. And then let's go ahead and check back up here towards the north. Let's go ahead and check Iowa again. Let's go ahead and select that radar, and still a threat for nickel-sized hail and 60 mile per hour winds, which again, 60 mile per hour winds has been observed. So if you are still under that severe thunderstorm warning, be indoors and away from windows, as we will likely continue to see 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail. Down here towards the south, or the east, we will still be talking about some severe thunderstorms. We haven't checked this one for some time yet, so let's go ahead and check this one. And yeah, still looking, you know, pretty severe with 1-inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds. So still going to be something to watch closely for, as that one will continue to head to the northeast. We do have another area we're still watching down here for the threat of nickel-sized hail and as well as 60 mile per hour wind gusts, as this will continue to head towards the south and as well as the east. So still going to be something to keep an eye on. Let's go ahead and see how he's doing. We're going to go back and turn on the Storm Chaser feed, and like I said, I did turn the sound off, so I don't think the sound is on. But you guys can let me know if it's still on. But like I said, I turned it off, so it shouldn't be on as of right now. But I did turn it off. I'm going to go ahead and remove a few things. We're going to go ahead and remove both of these just so that we can get a better view of this Storm Chaser clip. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the next couple of hours of my live stream just so that you guys can see what's going on. And this will probably be a lot more understandable too. And if you guys are wondering what that noise is, that's just my kids. They're having fun hanging around while I'm doing my live stream. Looks like Stormrunner Media is almost getting ready to go live because I saw he was scheduled for 4:45. So let's go ahead and check on him again to see when he's gonna go live. And looks like he scheduled it back to 5 again. He kind of keeps going back and forth. And like I said, those are just my kids in the background. Will you guys be quiet? Those are just my kids in the background, so I do apologize for that. But like I said, we, are still going to be watching these severe thunderstorms as they continue to bring some damaging winds and large hail. And I did take those things or those white pieces off so that way you guys could see what was going on. So that's why I did that, and I didn't realize those were blocking so much of the screen, so that's why I took those off. But let's go ahead and look at this warning again, and as you can see, we still are seeing some large hail and damaging winds with 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds continuing to be a threat with that one. We actually do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in Minnesota. This is for nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is actually heading towards the Twin Cities. So if you live in the Twin Cities, get ready, as we could be seeing some 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So certainly something to be on high alert for. It doesn't look like Marshall, Minnesota is dealing with anything as of right now, but like I said, could be some, storms firing behind it. But still going to be, something to keep an eye on. Let's see here. TTV King says, you are understandable, though. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I'm understandable. You guys are being very nice by telling me all these things. You guys are sticking around with me. You guys have been very best friends with me, which I do appreciate, like I said. But if we look at Illinois, we actually do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. We're going to go ahead and select that radar right there. And this is not, super severe, but just for nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds heading towards the north. And this is likely going to impact places like Mineral, Illinois. So if you are in Mineral, Illinois, get ready. Be indoors and away from windows, as we could be seeing some hail and as well as some damaging winds. Areas down here in these areas, it looks like those warnings down here have expired. So we aren't really concerned about severe thunderstorm warnings in this part of the line. But, this part of the line right here, still some 60-mile-per-hour winds and some nickel-sized hail, and same goes with some of these ones up here. Some nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds still continue to be a threat with those ones. And yeah, and if you are in Jackson, Mississippi, be indoors and away from windows, as some hail and as well as some damaging winds are still going to be a possibility as we continue to get closer. But I'm gonna go ahead and get another drink of water. So just wait a few minutes while I get another drink. Alright, I'm finally back now again after getting my drink of water. But yeah, so like I said, we still do have severe thunderstorms continuing into parts of the deep south, and I'm actually starting to lose my voice, by the way. But I'm going to try to hold it as I continue to keep people safe. But like I said, we still continue to see, quite a bit of severe thunderstorm warnings for these areas, as you can see. And they did add a tornado possible tag now to the area to the warning that does include Baton Rouge heading up towards McComb in Mississippi. And if we look at the velocity, as you can see, velocity, not really seeing a whole lot of rotation, but, those reds touching those greens can sometimes indicate some weak, broad rotation. So, there could be some weak spin-ups, but like I said, very, minor rotation, so not, looking at really anything that crazy. But back to reflectivity there. Like I said, we still need to be watching this line of storms as it still continues to move. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for almost the extreme central part of Iowa for 1-inch hail, which is core-size hail, and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. And this warning does include Patton, Donna, in Iowa, and even a few more other areas like Pilot, Mound, and even into Fraser. So all those areas in Iowa are under a severe thunderstorm warning for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So still going to be a storm to keep an eye on. Let's see, down here, 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds still continue to be an issue with that one. Let's go ahead and check on this storm, and yeah, looking quite significant. This storm over here, we're going to select this radar, is still looking to be quite severe with 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, like I said. So still going to be, a thing to keep an eye on as we will continue to watch those storms closely. We do still have the Kansas storm in effect, so let's go ahead and look at that one. That one, $50 size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So ping, pong, or $50 size hail, and as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds will still be will still be a threat as that continues ahead to the east. This will include McPherson, Kansas. So if you do live in that area, be indoors and away from windows, as we will be watching that one closely. And none of these really do have a hook shape to them, so we still aren't really concerned about a tornado threat just yet. But let's go ahead and check on, let's see. Let's go ahead and check on Storm Runner Media. Looks like another storm chaser is going to go live pretty soon here. So let's go ahead and look at Storm Runner Media again. And he is going to be going live at 5 o'clock. So he'll be live in about 10 minutes. At least he should. And we also have Reed Timmer. He's going to be going live pretty soon too as well, literally at the exactly same time, 5 o'clock. So he'll be live soon too as well. So we'll start to have a lot of storm chasers as we do head to 5 p.m. Central Time. So we will need to be watching for that. Let's see, we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning just to the east of Jackson, Mississippi. Let's go ahead and select this radar right here. We're probably not going to have, good, we are going to have good, reflectivity, because as you can see, we are quite far away from it, and, that radar is on top of that storm as of right now, but we do have a threat for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds for all cities just to the east of Jackson, Mississippi. So if you are in that warning, stay away from windows and be indoors. Looking back here towards Illinois, we still continue to see these 2 warnings in effect, and that's for, it looks like that's only for nickel size hail, and as well as 60 mile per hour winds. We got another one over here for same thing, 60 mile per hour winds and nickel size hail. So not looking, too severe with those ones, but still are going to be needing to watch as they will continue to move. If we look at these ones, still got a line of storms with 60 mile per hour winds and even some nickel size hail with that line of storms as that one moves through to the east. And like I said, this line of storms is likely going to head towards the Twin Cities, which, like I said, it hasn't moved towards the Twin Cities yet, but it looks like it eventually will. So we are going to be waiting for that. Back over here towards the east, pretty much to the north and east of Lynchburg, Virginia, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for quarter-size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. And let's go ahead and select that radar. So certainly, something to keep an eye on, like I said. But even over here, we still need to be watching for the same thing, 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail, as we will continue to be watching this very closely. And if we also go ahead and look up here to the north, again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for parts of central central Illinois, not the extreme central part of Illinois, but still the central part of Illinois, and this is going to be for, we gotta zoom in so we can see the cities, because these cities aren't very populated, but like I said, Mineral is one of the cities included in that severe thunderstorm warning as of right now, but also Atkinson, Illinois, also included in that. That storm looks like it just passed you, by the way, and then Hoppole, Illinois also is also getting ready to see that storm too as well, and as well as Thomas, Illinois, and as well as Aliceville. So certainly, a thing to still keep an eye on, as that will continue to head to the north. So if you are under, one of these warnings, still continue to be indoors and away from windows. If we look back here towards the Kansas and as well as the Nebraska storms, we still continue to see some very large hail with that one. We still continue to see some ping pong ball size hail, and as well as some 60 mile per hour winds with that one. That has been our most significant storm so far. There is a tornado possible tag on it, so let's go ahead and take a look at the velocity on that one. And it turns out we do, have some rotation, not a whole lot, but we do have some rotation. So this, is going to, be something to watch for, because I do think we could, start to see rotation ramp up even more. But we do have some rotation pretty much in, this area right here. So not a whole lot, but we do have, some broad weak rotation, which is still enough to cause tornadoes sometimes, but not enough to concern me though. So that isn't really going to be a extreme concerning threat as of right now. But if we look at these storms right here, we still do have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. The southern part of that line isn't severe, but the eastern part is still producing 1-inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds pretty much all along those severe thunderstorm warnings, as you can see right there. And if we do select the radar, you can see we are, seeing the same thing with 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail across all of this area right here, as you can see. Back up here towards the north, we're going to go ahead and look at this one right here, and as you can see, we do still have, 60 mile per hour winds and 1-inch hail. So certainly, still going to be something to keep an eye on as we get closer. And these storm chasers are likely to go live any minute. So let's see, we're going to go back to YouTube. The reason why I close out of YouTube is because I like to, see it refresh. So Storm Runner Media should be live any moment here. we just gotta go ahead and check. So, yep, he's going to be going live in about 4 minutes from now. So, we'll pull him up as soon as he go live, and same with Retimmer. So, we'll have them both up as we continue to, get closer to when they go live. And I'm actually going to also pull up the other Storm Chasers live feed too as well. And like I said, I'm not sure if you guys can hear the Storm Chasers, even if I have the sound off. But like I said, you can let me know in the chat if that's one of the things. But we're gonna go back to Retimmer. He's another Storm Chaser, and we're gonna pull his feed up too. So like I said, you guys can let me know in the chat if the volume is still on when I'm turning the sound off. But I still gotta keep, my computer volume on so that way you guys can hear my microphone. Because if I turn it all the way off, then you guys won't be able to hear me. But back to what we were doing before, we still do have some severe thunderstorm warnings still in effect. If we go ahead and look at these ones down here, still 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Back up here towards Virginia, we still got 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds on both of those warnings. And yeah, so still, gonna be something to watch for and keep an eye on. Warnings over here towards Iowa, Nebraska, and as well as Kansas, we still continue to see some warnings be in effect, and this one still continues to look quite severe with I meant to say ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And not only that, we are also, seeing these storms up here pretty similar with 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail. These storms up here in Iowa, 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds in both of these warnings. So still be indoors and away from windows if you are under a warnings as of right now, and still do the same thing if you are in one of these. And it looks like we are or the Storm Chasers are getting ready to go live any minute, so they will be pulled up whenever they do go live. But like I said, still got some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. And down here, we will likely, see some of that too as well. I'm gonna go ahead and test something, just to make sure. I'm just making sure my live stream is working and doing what it's supposed to do. I forgot I had my phone around for chat, and I can actually pull up my live stream too as well, so I can actually chat in and make sure my live stream is going well. So we are pretty much going to be waiting for both Storm Chasers to go live any minute. They should be live just about now, as we will still continue to keep track of these storms. So yeah, as you can see, we still need to be watching these storms up to the north. Let's go ahead and check on these storms down here in the south, where we will still have chances for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So still going to be something to keep an eye on as this continues to push off to the east. We still do have some flash flood warnings in effect too as well. I just wanted to remind people about that there could be some flash flooding in these areas, as you can see, but we're not as worried about flash flooding as we are worried about anything else. But it looks like Retimmer just got started. He is saying the stream is going to be starting soon, so he is live, but he hasn't shown his face yet. So we're going to be waiting just a few minutes for it to be coming. But back to the radar, and as you can see, we still do have some 60-mile-per-hour winds, and as well as some quarter-size hail. So still going to be something to watch closely for as we will continue to keep an eye on this. And we still do have these two warnings out here to the west in effect. So if we look at this radar, as you can see, still talking some 1-inch hail and even some 60-mile-per-hour winds. still 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds with this one too as well. So still going to be something to keep an eye on as we will continue to watch these storms very closely. And let's see here. It looks like Storm Runner Media is now live now. Stream gonna be starting soon on his too. So we just got 2 live storm chasers now on the ground, getting ready to go live pretty soon. I'm gonna go ahead and check for a few more storm chasers. Let's go see if any of the other storm chasers are live. I just gotta look through my thing to see if any of them are live, and it doesn't look like they are, but that's okay, because we at least got 2, and that's all we really need, is 2. So, we need to, you know, be watching that pretty closely as we do, you know, continue to head closer. We're going to go ahead and go back to the radar again. We still are going to be talking 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter size hail across, you know, these severe thunderstorm warnings over here, but even these severe thunderstorm warnings up here to the north are still going to be something to keep an eye on. And it looks like Storm Runner Media is now live. We kind of had to wait quite a while for him to be live, but he is finally live now and ongoing storm chasing, so let's go ahead and pull him up. So yeah, as you can see, he's located in Weatherford, Oklahoma, and that's where he's storm chasing as of right now. Yeah, so he's pretty much... as you can see, he's located in Weatherford, Yeah, so this will be something to keep an eye on as we, you know, continue to watch these storms close. Let's see. Let me go ahead and check something. My audio's skippy for some reason. Let me go ahead and see. Let's see what it is. Let's see what happens when I turn up my mic gain. Let's see, does that sound a little bit better? Trying to figure out why this... Yeah, so I do apologize for that, guys. I was just trying to figure out why my voice sounded like that. Well, something's going on, obviously. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not working very well. But yeah, I have been live for quite a while, though. I'm actually kind of getting, you know, a little bit tired after all this live coverage. So thank you guys very much for joining my live stream. Hope you guys did enjoy it. The reason why I'm leaving is because, you know, I've been live for almost 2 hours, by the way. But I'm also, you know, but my voice is also cutting out too as well. So thank you guys very much for joining my live stream, and I will do one again